Welcome back to Real Estate Success Partner. I'm your host, Devin Dubuc, and back at it again as returning co-host. We've got Dom Arias. Hopefully he'll be able to talk on this one. He was having some mic issues the last time. So Dom, welcome to the show. And brother, you never disappoint, man. You bring some awesome people out here. Who'd you bring to the show, brother?
And I brought a great agent. I know you guys can hear me, so I'm super happy about that. But a great agent out of Lincoln, Nebraska, with Coldwell Banker NHS Real Estate, a mouthful. But his name is Tanner Pinyan, and him and his brother Tucker. I want to give a quick shout out to his brother Tucker out here too, who's not an agent, but both him and his brother are dominating the market out here. He's doing a lot of great things in real estate. So Tanner, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Excited. Yeah, well, you're being way too nice to me and stuff. You're just you're being way nice. I like Dom. I really look up to him both figuratively and literally. If you guys don't know, like I know he's on behind the screen and stuff, but anyone that's watching this, if this does make it throughout the world and stuff, Dom's a pretty tall guy. He could probably play pretty good basketball.
Yeah, Dom, what are you, 6'7", brother?
6'7", yeah. 6'8",
Yeah,
6'7". So yeah.
Well, I remember one day I was talking with him and I was saying something about, my stature, because I'm 6'4", 6'5" on a good day. And he's like, yeah, you're short. Said I'm 6'7".
I'm 5'11". I'm not one of the people that's going to say that I'm 6 foot, but I am really 5'11". So I don't say 5'11", they mean like 5'9", but like I really am. So
my man. Yeah, my oldest son passed me up. He's at 6'5", and he's never let me let it go, right? So he always makes sure he knows I'm the short guy. Well, killer deal, man. We appreciate you coming on, and Dom knows you, and I know you, but let's let the audience get to know you a little bit. So, you're hailing from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Mhm.
Is that hometown for you? Or are you from Lincoln originally?
Yeah. I'm from Lincoln originally. So this is kind of where I've been. Grew up in Lincoln, and then I joined the Air National Guard. So I went to basic training, tech school, that stuff. Got my training stuff, came back, and then I was at the Air Force Base here in Lincoln, the 155th Air Refueling Wing. And then I went to school I went to college about an hour away from Lincoln, hour 15 in Peru, Nebraska, which is a small town where the Peru State Bobcats hail from.
Go Bobcats.
Yeah, go Cats, hashtag claws out.
My man.
So yeah, this is kind of where I've been, but pretty much, around Lincoln within an hour or so.
There it is, man. I almost went to school in Nebraska. I looked at Kearney as an option. So I played a little D2 football in my day, and Kearney was one of those that scouted me out. So I've been up to the great state a few times. I'm actually a Kansas native, so I used to border you guys. Of course, I'm way older than both of you. In fact, you might be able to add the two of you together and maybe get to my age. So
Maybe. Well, I like the Midwest. It's a good place. So yeah.
Good people, man. Good people. That's it. So, you graduate college. Did you go to school for real estate? Was that the initial game plan?
No. So like what I did was, so we went to Peru State. I studied criminal justice and political science. And while I was in Peru, so Tucker, my brother, and my father and we got a couple rentals in Peru, and then we ended up getting a package deal of 10 single family homes in Auburn. Auburn's just south of Peru, so it's kind of in deep southeast Nebraska. And so we got those. So we ended up with quite a few rentals, and then a 7-plex as well in Auburn. And now we've just kind of fixed those up and sold them off one at a time. But I went ahead and got my license my last semester of college, and then graduated college. And I was probably. Yeah, I had sold a few houses before I even graduated college, before I even walked across the stage and stuff. But yeah, I come from a family that has few rentals, flipping and stuff like that. So we've always done blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. Now I got to ask you, man, did you ever do any acting?
Do any acting?
Because you look a lot like Michael Cera, brother. I don't know if you've heard that before, but
I love Superbad. That's a good movie. That's I like how that movie embodies American culture so much. So
my man, yeah. Maybe you guys will work together someday, because
that'd be interesting. That'd be fun.
No, but good stuff, man. So you come from a family with the background in real estate, and what merged you over to say, look, man, I want to get in there and actually, start doing this thing as a career?
Right. So I never thought it was going to be a career. Like I never thought that it was going to take off. I mean, I mainly just had my real estate license because my family was doing stuff and it's just another aspect of our family business. Just just to have an agent in the family to, you know, touch that aspect of it. So I never thought about it, but then the deals just kept coming and it kept coming and stuff, and it's like, okay, I think I'll stick with this for a while. And then my family's tried to get into, we have a couple other businesses tangential to real estate too, and doing other businesses. So it's just kind of, real estate's kind of been the foundation for other stuff, but
Yeah.
that's just always been kind of a steady stream so far.
That's it, man. That's it. I love it. I love it. What was it that made you, say this is the industry though, like overall, right? Like what was it about, obviously we love to make money. I'm sure,
Of course.
that's a good incentive, but let's cut past that, right? Like once you got in and started serving, the communities and helping others and not just using it as a vessel for your own personal wealth. What was it that made you say, man, this is it, right? This is where I want to be.
Well, I would say mostly just like breaking stigmas, because it's so much different than what you see like on
Yeah.
TV or on, I know that you probably hear that a lot and stuff. It's just like, it's not selling sunset, it's not this or that. Real estate agents like aren't, well, some of them are over in the corner, shaking their hands, but it's not about the money, it's about the people.
Yeah.
So just helping people, trying to just ultimately doing the right thing. I mean, I used to have a great grandmother used to say, um, if you act as good as you dress, you're going to be okay. So that's just what you got to do. Got to do the right thing always.
My man, I love that. I love that. And that goes back to just, leading with the heart, right? If you're out there with the serving heart, you lead people the right way, you're always going to find personal success. And that's it. What's the secret, man? Like, somebody's a new agent, right? They're just getting started in the industry and, they don't know really where to get started, right? If they go out and do this, right? This one thing, what's that going to be, right? To kickstart that business and get it into gear.
Well, I mean, there's probably 1,000 cliches I could say about like, you know, yeah, you're gonna be rejected. I mean, it's like being the kid in middle school with
Mhm.
braces and acne. It's all the girls that turn you down, they're rejecting you and stuff. So yeah, you're gonna be rejected. But the piece of advice to kind of get kickstarted is don't take anything personally,
Yeah.
whether it's from uh the consumer or from other agents. Like, you can't take things personally, and that's fine. But if you genuinely do care about people, if you actually develop relationships with people, they'll come back to you. They will do business with you and stuff. So like, people think of real estate agents as this, these salespeople. So I meet with people, I talk to people, and real estate's kind of like the last thing we ever talk about, even though people
Yeah.
do want to talk about it a lot. But, if we're talking about, just hoping and praying the Huskers will have a good season, if we talk about, anything like that, and then the conversation almost always wades into real estate and stuff, because that's people like talking about it. They like going on the internet and scrolling through Zillow and stuff. So, just not, that's what's worked for me, not being too salesy, just literally just having a good time with people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, people do business with people who they know, like, and trust, right? And how do you form trust? You build a relationship, get to know them, get to know what their passions are. And, you guys are, a state that's obviously known for your sports, right? Especially Lincoln, right? So what a great topic.
Yeah. Mhm.
Most people are going to be on common ground with that one, right? And even if you're not, sometimes being the opposing force, again, it breeds, good banter, and that's is another great way to start a conversation. So who you starting a conversation with, Tanner? Right? I'm out there. I just got started. Am I just just basically walking door to door and saying, "Hey, I'm Tanner. I'd love to get to know you."
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not going to be very effective. I personally don't think I haven't had good luck going door to door. But starting with your, people that your Facebook
Yeah.
friends, and knowing, because a lot of people have just gotten their license, but telling them that like, this is something I'm passionate about, something I do take really seriously.
Yeah.
I'm not just getting this just to be like, hey, hit me up so I can make a few $1,000s real quick. Like, hey,
Right.
I just want to help, I want to be there for you, I do want to be an assistant. So people, and then it's just like, it grows organically from there. It's like your friends, and then your friends have friends, and then so um I think being involved in multiple things. It's like I was in the military, so I have connections with the military people. I went to college, hitting up those people, just being involved in different stuff
Yeah,
and
your
volunteering in
circle.
different places. That just leads you to more people overall. I mean, you end up running into a lot of people, a lot of different spheres of influence.
Yeah, you're working the spheres, man. No, I love that. Let's switch gears a little bit here because, one of the things we kind of let in with was you got into the industry from an investment standpoint. And at the end of the day, you understand, investing in real estate and how that works. Let's talk a little bit about that, right? Let's say that I'm a consumer out there and I'm considering getting into investment or what are the real benefits of being in investment real estate, right?
Yeah, the benefits to investing in real estate is you can invest your money in a lot of things, but there's certain tax benefits to real estate. Real estate historically typically appreciates pretty well, especially the past few years. Um, it's just I think it's a pretty safe investment overall. I mean, because people always need a place to live. Um, but it's just funny. Just it keeps going back to the relationship thing because yeah, it's kind of hard to find deals sometimes because like, yeah, everyone watches all the flipping shows. Everyone watches those stuff,
Right.
like that. So
Ooh, I want to do this. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is pretty popular and it is pretty competitive sometimes. So that just goes back to knowing having people that people that you are like, hey, I'm serious and I'll close the deal. If you come to me with a deal, I'm not just gonna waste your time. That has that does happen from time to time. People aren't super serious, but like if
Mhm.
you're known as a deal closer, then yeah, people will come to you and that's how I got a lot of the rentals initially was, people came to me, it's like, well, I heard you bought these houses, do you want the sevenplex? Like, okay, yeah, I think we can probably do that. And,
Yeah.
I didn't have to search on any of that. So people will come to you with deals sometimes.
Right. Yeah, there it is, man. When you talk about historically real estate, being profitable, I mean, at the end of the day, historically, it's 5.5% in growth every year, right? Like that's now we've seen some crazy markets. I've seen growth out here in Dallas. We've seen 10, 15% in one year, right? That's not a standard market, but historically it's 5.5%. And, I was talking about this a couple months back, and I'm going to try to keep as close to the statistic as possible, but I think it's over the last 80 years we've only had, I think it's like 7 markets where we've seen depreciation, and only twice has that happened in a decade, right?
Mhm.
So what are you talking about? Well, you're talking about the fact that real estate is probably the safest investment that you
Yeah,
could possibly have with your money, right? And when you look at people that are wealthy, right,
right.
typically they own a lot of real estate, right? Whether that's land or whether that's actual properties and doors, and it's typically properties and doors in both, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, that's where the wealth comes from. So when you're trying to build generational wealth for yourself, for your family, for your legacy, right?
Right.
Real estate is one of the best places to start. So, when you're out there looking for an investment, what is it that lets you know, hey man, this is something that I would take seriously, right? Like, how do you know what property to buy, right? Like, is there like a
Yeah.
guidebook that says, dude, if you're going to invest in it, this is what you look for?
Yeah. Initially, like there's probably some standards you want to follow. I mean, obviously, like the location, you can look at comparable, if it's a rental property or comparable sales, just doing your research on the back end. Um, I mean, if it's like a buy and hold situation, yeah, you want to try to get close to the 1% rule if you can, try to collect, 1% of the purchase price and monthly rent. That's been hard lately because real estate's been appreciating so quickly.
Yeah.
But you can get there, and you could always, if you have a loan on that rental, then you can always refinance it and get your payment down a little bit. Some like if it's flipping or investing like that, some people try to follow the rule of like, don't pay any more than 80% of the ARV minus your rehab costs. That's a formula that some people use just to work in a little bit of profit in there. But also, if you do get a property and you fix it up and stuff, well, you have options as to your exit strategy. You can hold on to it and refinance it. You can sell it. You could try a short-term rental as well. But so there's a few methods or formulas to do when you first are starting off. But then once you get doing it, once you've been in 100 homes, once you've been in
Yeah.
a couple of homes, then you just like can feel it. You just know like, oh, I know what people would pay for this. I know what people would rent this out for. And
Like
so,
anything. Yeah. Yeah. It
right.
becomes muscle memory. It's like,
Mhm.
yep. Oh yeah, this one's going to work. I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. Well, and let's say that I'm a new investor in specifically the Lincoln area or Nebraska area, and I want some help. Can I call on you, Tanner?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm very easily get a hold of. Yeah, I can be there. Yeah. So I drive everywhere, if possible. So yeah, absolutely. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I tell people it's not pressure. Like I can work with you a little bit, and if it doesn't work out between us, if we have to break up, that's fine. And it's like I'm just am happy to help and serve the community.
Yeah. Well, in regards to services, like when you're working with a client, right? What is it that you do that you feel like is your real estate superpower, right? Like you pull into that bag of tricks and you're like, man, this is what I'm known for.
Yeah, it would just be since I kind of have a diverse experience of stuff since I've been more than just a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Like, I own a few other businesses and I do this and that. So like you just I would say just knowing like what people will do. Like I know what I've just had experience in business a little bit, so I know what'll work, what it won't work, and
Mhm.
what's gonna last for you. What you're gonna I don't want my clients to have problems down the road. So I
Yeah.
don't want their investment or their house to be a problem. So I will point out stuff that is a big deal or isn't a big deal. So I mean
Yeah.
that's kind of my experience.
Well, let's put some premise to this. So you're in Lincoln, and last time I looked, there's definitely new construction, but you got a lot of older homes out there too, right? So, when
Mhm.
you're doing the walkthrough, you know what to look for, right? Like,
Yeah,
and ultimately, if the customer's crushing on the house and you're going, man, this ain't it,
yeah,
it's being there to give that good advice, right?
yeah, yeah. Because there's just especially if they're never bought a house before, never bought an investment. Like I'll tell them like, hey, it's a problem if none of the windows have been updated or something like that. That's
Yeah.
just a big expense. Each Windows is $400 or $500 typically to replace, and they might not even think about that. They might not go and open all the windows. That's a problem or something. And I'm like, oh, like this is you want to keep an eye on this. There's stains
Yeah.
on the ceiling, and they just might miss that stuff because the kitchen's remodeled. That's what they want to look at or something.
Well, that's it, and at the end of the day, because you've done the investment and the rehab, you know what it costs to replace those things. So you can give people great advice, right? I think there's another thing that we always like to talk about, and that's the Rolodex of resources, right? And so if you're in this industry and you're also an investor, you probably have some resources up your sleeves too, right? Like, do you know plumbers and
Yeah.
electricians and
Yes.
handymen and
Right. So stuff like that. So I know plenty of stuff like that. Worked with a lot of different contractors as well. And this is kind of a point I tell people: if are in an industry and you see a need for something, or that might be an opportunity for you. So like my family was doing a little bit of flipping, right? And we were using so many roll off dumpsters, right? So my family started roll off dumpster business, and it's been pretty good because typically like a refuse company not known for their customer service typically. Like you don't really think about it, but like what we did with what's called rocket roll-offs is like pick up the phone almost all the time after 5 p.m. We do our best to get a dumpster out there that day or the next day, stuff like that. And we've been pretty flexible with that,
yeah,
and the business has grown that way. So and stuff like that too. It's our we also have like a lot of listings, like flipping houses. So my sister-in-law has a staging company, so that's been a need. And same type of thing, like, hey, we'll do a consultation. We can get you staging as soon as we can and stuff. Because it's just kind of a lost thing with like a lot of businesses. Like you walk into certain businesses and they act like they don't want you to be there. Like you're giving them business, or like they don't. Sometimes they act like they can't. They don't want to serve you or something. Like
yeah.
obvious examples are like you go to a fast food restaurant, and it's like they act like they never will see you again. But in other businesses too, I'm like talk to other things. I'm like, okay, like I'm here to give you money for your service, and so that's just
Frustrating. Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're in a service-based industry and you understand that being available and, providing great service to your consumers is important. But
yeah,
what I love that you said, man, is we saw a couple businesses that just weren't working. They weren't prioritizing or giving the needs that should be there to be delivered. So we just started our own businesses, that provide those services so that we could make an impact. So, if you're out there and you're looking for, an agent that, you can support you, on the real estate side, you don't just look at, how long have they been in the industry? That's
yeah,
always important. But you look at who are the Rolodex of people that they have behind them, and what I heard Tanner just say is like, if you're trying to list your property and the home needs some staging to make it look amazing, well, that's in my back pocket, right? Like, just call sis and say, hey,
Yeah.
we need to get you over here so we can make this house look good and put some lipstick on a pig.
Right.
But
So you got to do your best in that. Yeah.
that's it, man. But that's what's important, man, is, again, you're not just buying, the services, the realtor, you're buying that Rolodex of all the people that are behind them, all the things that they can do to help you. And then it's even afterwards, right? Like, I would imagine if you had a customer that calls you up after the transaction and says, man, do you have anybody that knows how to do this? Right? Are you there to serve, or did you just say, no, transaction's over? So call somebody else, man. Leave me alone.
Yeah, you were talking about giving advice to other, to newer agents, like don't do that. Yeah, don't just dump them when you're done, when you get your check, I guess. Yeah, because people, even people that have owned a house for a long time, sometimes they don't know how insurance works all the time, how to do the claim. They don't know stuff like that, which I don't blame them. I mean, it's there's so much information on the internet, and stuff is people on social media will tell you it's like this and this or that. But here in Lincoln 2 weeks ago, we had a huge windstorm. I mean, blowing over multiple trees. So
I heard.
I've been, on the phone, been like, do this. I said, you got to at least talk to them, tell them this and this, and they'll go from there. To know what, and then it was raining. No one wants to water in the house and stuff. So yeah, you just got to help people out because you've been there and they might not have been there yet.
What's it, man? That's it. Just being a resource before and after the transaction. And, it's so important in this industry. It's so important to know that you can trust in the partners that, you're bringing on. So, well, what big things you got cooking right now, Tanner? Like, what's the next big thing that you got going on here in 2025?
Just obviously keeping a steady stream of real estate. Adding so we have the roll-off company, so adding services on there. Something that's needed is junk removal. Do we add that? So just adding stuff, services on that. We've talked about different stuff to make it a one-stop shop if you can. Like, so I was in the Air Force, like, and I used to be near Duncan Aviation, which is an aviation company here in Lincoln, and they're a one-stop shop for private planes. So you can go, you drive, and they'll service your exterior, interior of your plane and stuff. I don't have a plane yet, but maybe someday. But I'm just kidding. So, but just being, like you said, the Rolodex of people, just being one stop. How can we get people in and out and serviced as best we can? So doing that type of stuff. We have 2 ice cream stores here in Lincoln, so it's almost summertime. So we have some catering events, and we have some stuff like that. Some larger clients that order large quantities of ice cream. So
let's give a plug to the ice cream shop, man. What's the name?
Yeah, so I have 2 here in Lincoln, both on 70th Street. 70th and Vine is called Lincoln Ice Cream Company, or Licks, and then 70th and Van Dorn, which is south, is called Scoops. And if you do buy a house, you get half off an ice cream cone. So there you go. I was joking. I'll give you free ice cream if you buy a house. Yeah, you can have as much ice cream as you want.
You heard that, guys. Yeah. You heard that. He's giving out free ice cream.
That's all you got to do. So
I like it, man. I like it. Very cool, man. Very cool. So, what entrepreneur, man? You're out there dipping into everything, including that ice cream parlor. So,
yeah,
that's good stuff, man. So, do you do that, man? Do you have like buy a house from Tanner and you get a lifetime supply of ice cream? Are you like Willy Wonka?
Oh, I have gone to closings. We've gone straight to the ice cream store and we've hung out and stuff. But yeah, I have a little set of cards at my ice cream stores, and it's good. It's just and that's kind of the thing that ice cream and getting a new house, they're similar because they put a smile on people's face.
Man, I love that. I love that. Yeah, seal the deal with an ice cream sundae. Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. That's great stuff. So what do you do when you're not working, man? You got all these businesses, you're, investing in properties, and, there's a need and you're freaking finding a way to solve it, man. Like, what you have free time? What do you do in your free time, brother?
Yeah. So this is, last year I got a new place. I got an acreage, and that's been nice because you get home from the hustle and bustle and you're on the phone all the time, but just going out on the farm, and I have a little pond, so just going fishing and stuff, and just kind of doing nothing, just unplugging,
That's
when
it,
you're out there riding around in the 4-wheeler, doing whatever.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fun stuff. Sometimes you got to do that, man. You got to unplug and just reset because, I say this on the show almost every episode. Like, Vegas is the city that never sleeps, but real estate is the industry that never sleeps.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to
And
have that recharge time, right? Where you can just go where the cell phone reception isn't. And
exactly. Sometimes you
drop
have
the
to.
line in the water and just sit back and do absolutely nothing and love every minute of it, right?
Exactly. Yep. It's you got to have balance in your life.
Killer, man, killer. Well, what did we not talk about today that we should have? From ice cream scoops to, rollaway businesses. We've got
Yeah.
staging companies and real estate. Man, we've unpacked a lot, but what did we not cover today?
I don't know. I mean, that's about everything. I mean, it's I don't think you want to get me to talking too much. I could tell you my whole life story, but I go on a lot of stuff. I mean, it's been a good few years in real estate and stuff, and it's just fun meeting new people,
Yeah,
and connecting, and how you can help them, how they can help you, stuff like that, and just having a good time because people's houses or cars, things come and go, but relationships last forever. You
that's
have
it.
to be careful who you make memories with. Those can last a lifetime. So yeah, and just those last forever. Those are what I really cherish. Are those are the people.
Oh, man, I love that. Yep. Again, back to what we always talk about, Dom, man. It's about the people. It's not about the money. The money comes behind that, but just serving the people and be there to take care of them. And then they're going to come back again and again. And of course, with Tanner, they're coming back in again and again for that delicious ice cream.
I hope so.
At scoops or dips, you get to pick which one, right?
Yeah.
So, Tanner, when the folks out there want to find you, what area do you serve? Are you just Nebraska? Do you do any other territories outside of Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, anywhere within a couple hours of Lincoln. So, like I said, Peru and Auburn are southeast of Lincoln. I live directly south of Lincoln, so anywhere around there, anywhere within like a couple hours of Lincoln, I can go.
There it is, man. And when the folks want to find you, I'm sure they could stop by the ice cream shop. That's a pretty easy way, but is there a great way to connect with you directly?
Yeah, I have. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Just Tanner Pinyan. You just should pull me up. My phone number, emails, all on there, and stuff. So I'm pretty easy to find, and yeah, I make a few videos, and you'll see my listings and stuff. So yeah, check it out.
Hiding in plain sight.
Mhm.
He's right there. Just look him up. You're gonna find him, and he does some video. He has fun in the video, so you might want to jump in there and enjoy a few episodes. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, and if you're watching, you probably saw his contact information run across the bottom of the screen. But if you're listening in, go in and check out the description, and make sure you stop by and get some ice cream too while you're at it. Dom, my brother from Nebraska. Actually, you're from California originally, man, but you're Nebraska now.
You're in the good life, yeah.
That's
right.
it, man. He came and he said, man, I couldn't get away. He loved it so much. But Dom, you're doing lending out there, brother. Serving the great state of Nebraska. I think you're California. What other states you do?
I do Nebraska, California, and Iowa right now. Hoping to expand, hopefully to Missouri pretty soon. But yeah, no, so all over the place. Our company obviously is, if people don't know, we do about, I think, a little over 30, 40 states collectively. So yeah, so we're able to serve,
38.
everyone. And then you guys can find me. You guys can find me on Instagram, Facebook. Again, kind of like Tanner, my numbers are on there, email on there as well. You can also just go to thedomarias.com and it'll pull up my contact information. But I'm listening to Tanner right now and I'm like thinking, man, I gotta take my family down to the ice cream shop this weekend.
You got it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't sell any real estate today, we're definitely selling some ice cream.
I know.
But anyway, either way you go, man, you can't go wrong with Tanner and Dom. These guys are great at what they do, and I can definitely vouch for Dom. He's on my team, and if he doesn't do so well, I'm gonna give him a slap. So if I can reach him, I don't know, man. He's got that 2 inches on me, so I know, man. I know. I'm doing my best. But guys, man, it's been great having you both on the show. Tanner, man, congratulations on your success, brother. Love to see somebody out there doing what it takes to get it done in this industry and several others. It's an inspiration, my man.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, it's good talking to you.
100%. Well, guys, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But, if you have any questions or you want to know anything, about Tanner or Dom, reach out to their page or just DM me and, we'll get you all that information that you need. But I think for today, Dom, what do you say, man? Is that it?
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. That's it. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Until the next time.
Thanks.